This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some major updates to share with you. I'll let you know the latest stimulus checks going out in August. The $250, $500, and $600 checks and $250 checks have been scrapped from one state. When it comes to the big reconciliation package, Kyrsten Sinema is still not fully on board yet. I'll give you the latest updates with that. And when it comes to the big package, we'll go over the article. Even with stimulus off the table, here's how reconciliation could put money in your pocket and how you could benefit from it. Meanwhile, Republicans are calling it fraud, but I'll play you the video clip of how they explain that. It'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So unrelenting inflation is driving up costs, leaving more Americans living paycheck to paycheck. With no break in sight for rising prices, nearly 2/3 of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, according to a recent report. Even top earners say they are stretched thin. Over 1 month, average savings dropped from $11,274 in May to $10,757 in June. Yeah, times are getting really hard. Let me know down in the comments below, are you living paycheck to paycheck? Are you making sacrifices to try to pay your bills and try to just survive? Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to aid and stimulus checks, although stimulus checks are likely in the next recession, one expert says right now would be a terrible time. So let me know, should there be stimulus checks now and in the recession? Or I guess technically we're in a recession right now, but the reason why the expert says it's a terrible idea right now is because they're saying that inflation or stimulus checks is what caused inflation, or stimulus overall, not just the checks itself, but to all the businesses and all those people, that stimulus caused inflation and now is a terrible time. But how are these people supposed to survive? And if stimulus is a bad idea, then why are a lot of other states doing it? For example, we have New Mexico to send final checks of $250 and $500 payments this week. So that's going out in New Mexico, and payments could be as high as $1,500. Also, one-time direct payments worth $600 sent out to Oregonians in need. So this is going on in Oregon as well, $600 checks. And then, but it has been scrapped in another state. So stimulus checks scrapped for middle-income residents in Bay State. So in Massachusetts, there were supposed to be $250 checks. That got scrapped. But when it comes to how you could benefit from it on a federal level, even with stimulus off the table, here's how reconciliation could put money in your pocket. I'll go over that in just a moment and how you could benefit from it. But first, what's going on with the big package? Democratic anxiety grows over Sinema's silence. So Kyrsten Sinema being completely silent on this big reconciliation package, not letting Democrats know if she's on board with it. Joe Manchin comes out and basically the spokesperson for this big Inflation Reduction Act. Meanwhile, Kyrsten Sinema not saying anything. And Sinema still undecided on Manchin's social spending bill. Will make determination after parliamentarian review. Take a look at what another Democrat is saying about Kyrsten Sinema and the overall package of how Americans can benefit from it. Then I'll let you know how you could specifically benefit from it.
Since we've been on the air, there's been a bit of news about Senator Sinema and how she feels about this deal in the Senate. It says, not upset she wasn't included in the talks between Schumer and Manchin, but she is pointing out that the corporate minimum, I think it was the closed loophole, there's some...
The carried interest.
The carried interest loophole is something she was not thrilled about, wasn't in the House original bill. They say everybody knows she's not for this, and yet it somehow made its way into this bill. Do you think that she's going to end up killing the Inflation Reduction Act?
No.
As a result?
No.
Very confidently.
Well, because she's enjoying the news while giving heartburn to every Democrat, and she's enjoying being talked about. But look, at the end of the day, this is a huge, huge deal for climate. She is not going to make a full break from the Democratic Party. The carried interest loophole, which we're talking about, is $14 billion of a massive deal on $800 billion. And she's not going to stop appropriate taxes on people who are in private equity. I mean, why should people making money on Wall Street be taxed at capital gains when everyone else is paying ordinary income? So I don't think she's going to make a full break from the Democratic Party, which is what this would be.
Okay, so that's the Senate. That's the other chamber. So let's say all goes well, and she gives enough heartburn to the Democrats, it passes the Senate and comes over to the House. will it pass the House? Because your majority is only a 5-seat majority, and there's some upset on the Democratic side about what's in or not in this bill.
It will pass the House. Look, it's not the bill I would have written. It's not the bill the progressives would have been written, but it is the biggest investment in climate in American history. It's the biggest investment any country has ever made. And you have groups like Sunrise. You have groups, climate activists saying, pass this. The progressives want to get it to a yes. I am confident if the Senate gets us the bill, we will pass it.
There are some moderates, particularly those moderates from Northeast states. I'm thinking of Congressman Gottheimer of New Jersey, who they want state and local taxes to be a part of this package. It's not there. Do you think they'll go along with this bill if SALT's not in there?
Yes, because first of all, this is not a tax bill. I mean, it has a provision to have taxes on corporations that aren't paying it, but it's not a tax bill on individuals. Secondly, look, they're not representing 60%, 70% Trump districts. Manchin was a different case. He's representing a state that Trump got 70% with, and that's why we had to negotiate with him. I've been saying negotiate with him for a past year. Gottheimer, others, they need the Democratic Party. You need the president. You need the DCCC. You need Pelosi. No Democrat can stand there and stand against the entire Democratic Party. Manchin may have because of his state.
So what are your thoughts? Is this going to go through? Should it go through? Let me know your thoughts on that. So stimulus update, even with stimulus off the table, here's how reconciliation could put money in your pocket. So I'm going to go over just specifically how, the 3 ways, according to this article, of how you could benefit from it. So how this could put money in your pocket if passed. Many of the items on Biden's wish list could become reality. Here are the 3 most likely to impact everyday Americans. Reduce the cost of prescription drugs. President has long said no one should have to choose between paying for life-saving medication or putting food on the table, so it's going to save money there. Raising taxes on major corporations. According to economists cited in Rolling Stone, the middle class were hurt by Trump's 2017 tax cut, although average American did see their payroll taxes go down a bit. So yeah, it would tax the richest. And then tax incentives for green energy. While there are climate change deniers, nearly every reputable scientist in the world agrees that the Earth is warming at an alarming rate. This bill aims to do something about it while also paving the way for savings. According to the National Resources Defense Council, the NRDC, a reduction in greenhouse gases can save money by making us less likely to get sick. So yeah, that's what this article is saying about that. When it comes to the Inflation Reduction Act, the Manchin-Schumer Inflation Reduction Act is a fraud, according to some Republicans, in saying that Manchin either got tricked or duped, or that this whole thing is a fraud. Take a look at this video clip right here from the Republican perspective of the Inflation Reduction Act.
To Capitol Hill now, where all eyes are on Arizona Democrat Kristen Sinema, while she stays quiet on the fate of this new spending bill. West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin is speaking out after striking that deal with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and responding directly to charges from Home Depot co-founder Ken Langone on this very show.
I believe he's going to be tricked. Okay, that's what I'm worried about. I shouldn't say I believe. I'm worried he's going to be tricked. The revenues won't be there and the expenses will be there, and that's going to be inflationary. That's going to be, by its very definition, inflationary. All right. So what are they doing? They're only putting more gas on the fire.
We have an agreement. I have a trust there. But I can tell you, it has consequences if either one of us don't keep our bargain. So from Chuck Schumer to Nancy Pelosi to the President of the United States, we have an agreement that we are going to do permitting reforms. If that doesn't happen, I said again, on either side, if I don't keep my word and my bargain, if they don't keep theirs, there will be consequences.
Let's ask former director of the Congressional Budget Office, Doug Holtz-Eakin, now president of American Action Forum. Douglas, great to see you. I suppose this is an economic and a political question, so put your political and your economic hat on just for a second. Do you believe it's possible that Joe Manchin was tricked?
I don't think he was tricked. I think he has made a good faith effort to negotiate something that he believes in. It comes in 2 pieces. One is written down, one no one else has seen. I would be at least nervous about the second piece ever showing up, and those are the permitting reforms and the enhancements and the ability to extract oil and gas in the United States. So I don't think he was tricked, but I'm not sure that he should trust the track record on the other side of that bargain.
But he, again, jumped on TV this morning. There was a gaggle with reporters, and he is still defending his decision on this. Listen.
There's nothing on taxes at all. There's not one penny of change in taxes. I have no idea where they're coming out. Let me tell you the only thing that we did. The only thing that was done is basically we looked at taking everything out that could be looked to be to fanning the fires of inflation or inflaming it. And there's nothing there.
And I said to Peter Doocy, it was a great question in the White House briefing room about the Joint Committee on Taxation, saying quite the opposite of what Joe Manchin just said there. Nearly every income group will see tax hikes go up under this bill, and U.S. manufacturing will suffer. I mean, the Joint Committee on Taxation is supposed to be the holy grail, nonpartisan, and Democrats certainly touted it for the infrastructure bill. So why would they not believe that group if they now say no? Everyone's taxes will go up, including those making less than $400,000 a year.
Well, because it's very inconvenient, as you know. I mean, the Joint Committee on Taxation hasn't changed the way they do anything. They get tax legislation, they look at the implications, they assign it to income groups. This is business as usual for them, so they took the language as written, interpreted it, wrote it down, and it hits people of all incomes. And it's inevitable that it will, because it's a large tax increase on American corporations who employ a lot of Americans, sell products to a lot of Americans, and this will make the wages for the former go down and the prices for the latter go up. And so that's bad news for Americans of all incomes. It's not a complicated analysis. And in the same way, Sandra, you know, Ken Langone is right. If you look at what the Congress is up to, the House is busy trying to pass this CHIPS bill with hundreds of billions of dollars in corporate welfare. The Senate's moving on to whatever we want to call this inflationary, anti-inflationary bill. And combined, they will do a lot of spending up front, promise to pay for it later, and the deficit won't go down for 6 years. If the Fed doesn't have inflation under control in 6 years, we're all in really big trouble. This will do nothing to help. Nothing.
Because that was the conclusion of the UPenn study, right? That this bill will do nothing to actually reduce inflation. So there's the possibility that everyone's taxes are going to go up and inflation's going to go even higher, and no one would win, Douglas.
You should be concerned about that. I mean, you know, there's a lot of talk about whether the U.S. is in a recession or not. Put that aside. We're not doing very well. We need good, sound fiscal policies, tax and spending policies that will help the economy grow. This is exactly the opposite. More upfront spending, higher taxes promised in the future, inflation not under control. It's not the right way to go.
So what are your thoughts on that? Now that you saw both perspectives, the Democrat and Republican perspective for and against the Inflation Reduction Act, where do you stand? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. Really trying to muscle through this video because, so this is day 2. I didn't mention this yesterday, but day 2 of a juice cleanse that my wife convinced me to do. So I'm just drinking just juice, fresh made juice like carrot, celery, all that for the next 5 days or until Friday. So my mind is super foggy. It takes everything I have to do this video, and then I'm just gonna crash after. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channel, actually I highly recommend this video up here. It's my latest pickleball video. Really good game, actually. Check out that one, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.